How are you?
I'm good. Nothing too exciting going on in my life right now, which is a good thing. It's kind of nice just like enjoying a little bit of downtime before I start like really training again. So,
Are you? I've been watching like people post stage one and post stage two of games. It sounds like it's a disease, stage one and stage two.
right, I know.
Um, but I've
I
had
didn't.
I've noticed some people like they're kind of giving themselves maybe 2 weeks of like 1 week of doing absolutely nothing, and then 1 week of like, go and have some fun with CrossFit.
Mhm.
Um, are you giving yourself a longer break, or are you kind of dipping in and out as
Um,
in when you feel you want to?
so like the week after, well, stage one wasn't very like physically draining. It was just
Mm,
emotionally draining.
mm.
So I was ready to exercise by Tuesday just to like sweat and move. Um,
I don't think I would
but
have
I
moved for a year after that.
But there's just like, I don't know, I just love working out. Like I
Mm,
love exercise. I like to say exercise and not training because there's a big difference. But
mm,
my dog is going crazy. So I think like that week I just went for runs, did class whenever I wanted to. I actually went to yoga, like I did random stuff.
mm,
And then the following week, I still didn't have programming, but I did start running because that's kind of like what we talked about wanting to do this off season is start like a running program, just like running base. So I
mm.
did start running, nothing intense, and kind of kept doing yoga because I still like didn't want to do CrossFit. Like I would look at the workout and be like, I don't really want to do like half of those movements, so I'm not going to go. And that's usually a sign to me that I shouldn't go. Like if I'm looking at the workout and like not excited about it. So that week, I think I just ran and did yoga. So that's 2 weeks. And then after that, I started doing more running and more like I don't know what other word to use other than bodybuilding. It wasn't really
Mm.
bodybuilding, but it was just like dumbbell work, like more than just physical therapy stuff, but less than
Prehab kind of, I suppose.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically like Bulgarian split squats with dumbbells and strict pull-ups and that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So I started doing that for a few weeks, and then I started kind of like itching to get in the class, which is kind of what I thought would happen.
mm.
So then I was like dying to do CrossFit. So since then, I've just been doing my running and the CrossFit class. This week is the first week that I've added like a little bit more extra stuff. So like
Mm.
yesterday, I did bar muscle ups and handstand walks for the first time in like God knows how long. Like I thought I forgot how to do one, but that's kind of been the progression. I think next week or the week after, I'll actually have like legitimate off-season programming, which will be like
Is it hard to stomach, like, when it's, I guess, your job, like when your whole life revolves around it, is it hard to stomach the, or is it hard to let it sit with you, the idea of looking at a CrossFit class and being like, oh God, I really don't want to do that? Like, does it take time to kind of get over that? Is like, are you ever afraid when you think that, like, oh Jesus, have I fallen out of love with it?
right. Yeah. It definitely stresses you out a lot because it's like, what's wrong with me? I should
Yeah.
always want to do this. And like my coach and I actually talked about this briefly yesterday. Like this is usually one of the hardest times a year is coming back to my training because it's impossible to not expect, certain things of yourself or to put pressure on yourself and feeling really unfit is miserable.
Mm.
So I,
Welcome to
I'm
my world.
I'm prefacing it like with like be prepared. You remember how much this sucked last year. Like it
Yeah.
sucks every year. Get through those first couple weeks till you start to really just feel like yourself again, and then it becomes more fun. Then the motivation comes back. But like I would be lying if I said I'm dying with motivation to get back into my training next week. Like
Mm.
that's not true because I know how terrible it's going to be. And mostly not from a physical pain perspective, just from a perspective of like everything feels hard, everything's a little bit achy because you haven't been doing it. So getting through that phase is usually pretty challenging.